Do you intend to brief during the time that he is away?
We don't typically do traditional press briefings when the president is away, so we do not have a scheduled formal briefing to speak of.
That debate prep, it's going to be actually putting that into action with these mock debates. This is going to include a 90-minute formal debate where the president is standing up on his feet the entire time, trying to mirror what he's going to have to do in real time next week.
The first debate between President Biden and Donald Trump is just 6 days away, and Rachel Scott has the latest on how the two men are preparing for this critical showdown. Good morning, Rachel.
Hey, Rebecca, good morning to you. Yeah, believe it or not, the debate is less than a week away. And this morning, President Biden is huddled with his top advisors at Camp David, preparing to face off against Donald Trump. We were told that his former chief of staff, Ron Klain, is leading these debate preps. And we are told the president is preparing to hold 90-minute mock debates. Now, that, of course, is a sharp contrast to how his rival is preparing. We were told there would be no traditional debate prep for Donald Trump. No mock debates, no rehearsed attack lines or pivot points. Instead, the former president has held more than a dozen policy discussions with current and former advisors, including some top congressional allies like Senators J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio. Both of them were on a short list to be his possible running mate, and we're told they've also been invited to Atlanta for a debate night watch party. Now, we're also told that the former president is preparing how he would respond to questions on a range of issues, including abortion or his pledge to pardon the January 6 rioters or even his legal troubles. But both sides really trying to set some expectations here. After months of questioning President Biden's mental fitness, Donald Trump now calling the president a worthy debater. And then on the other side of this, you have some Biden advisors who believe that Trump could be more disciplined on the debate stage this time around, Rebecca.
And speaking of expectations, Rachel, this is just going to look and feel very different from traditional debates.
Yes, Rebecca, and especially for the candidates, because there will be no live studio audience, no staff interactions once they get on the debate stage. You remember those past debates that have turned into shouting matches between President Biden and former President Donald Trump? Well, this time around, the candidates' microphones will only be turned on when it is their turn to speak. President Biden won the coin toss, so he chose the podium that will appear on the right side of the television screen, and the former president chose to deliver the closing statements, which means he'll have the final word in this debate. Rebecca.
Public opinion for presidents can be punishing. Biden's favorability has fallen 11 points since 2020, with nearly 6 in 10 Americans holding an unfavorable view. Perceptions of Trump have changed less, with more than half still seeing him in an unfavorable light.
Two sitting presidents been face-to-face on a debate stage, a televised one at that. Jake, last time, as we remember, it was all about Trump's record, his handling of the coronavirus and the economy. This time it is about Biden's record, no doubt. Of course, they will try and make it about one another's, but the two men are the same, but boy, so much else has changed.
So much has. Jeff Zeleny, stick right here. Let's broaden this out to our panel. Let's start with what's on the minds of American voters. We have a brand new poll from Fox, which shows President Biden up by 2 points. You can see him at 50%, Trump at 48%, still neck and neck. And let's point out, as always, that's within the margin of error. That's just basically statistically a tie. And what's really remarkable, if you look back to previous polls by Fox, just how little this race has changed. Although I guess you could say that Biden has ticked up since March numbers.
Well, I mean, first, the national poll numbers, it's like the meaningless sports power rankings. It's all about the swing states. But I mean, the things I took away were really the number one, Joe Biden's strong disapproval on the major issues, the economy, inflation, immigration, all double digit, and in some cases 30 points underwater. And then the Fox poll had former President Trump, 27% of the black vote, 43% of the Hispanic vote. Joe Biden cannot win if those numbers hold.
Interesting. And the campaign spending on campaign ads, is not statistically tied. Let's show this full screen right now and walk us through it if you will. There's the numbers.
Look, it's really remarkable. The Biden campaign spending some $53.8 million just this year. The Trump campaign this cycle spending $17.5 million. Some other Trump money's been spent from super PACs and the like. But the Biden campaign has been really using this financial advantage to try and shake voters' attention and draw this contrast again. It's an open question, though, how much this has actually worked, because for all the changes in this campaign, the convictions and other things, the race has been remarkably the same. But if you look inside these numbers, I think we have this as well, state by state. Look at the spending here. The Biden campaign, Pennsylvania, some $13.9 million. Michigan, $9.7 million. Numbers slightly hard to read here. You can see the millions on the Biden campaign side, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Georgia, Arizona, Wisconsin. On the Trump campaign side, only thousands.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you a question.
They have not spent the money. We'll see if they do going forward. Or is this a campaign year where television advertising doesn't matter as much?
Well, that's what I was going to ask, because in 2016, remember, they put all that money into Facebook and social media, the Trump people did, and maybe got more bang for their buck, at least in states where it mattered. Are they doing that this time and it's not reflected in those numbers?
Some of it has been the fact that they have simply not had the money, or they're holding it for other things. But we are about to see the financial reporting from the campaigns tonight, I believe. So we'll see how much the Trump campaign has raised. It's been astronomical in the wake of his convictions. We'll see how much they put on television. But is this the campaign that's the tipping point where TV ads don't matter quite as much anymore?
A new Kaiser Family Foundation survey found nationally for women voters, inflation is a top concern, followed by threats to democracy, immigration, last is abortion. And you can see similar results in battleground states such as Michigan and Arizona.
Biden is now settling in at Camp David for days of private prep, led by former Chief of Staff Ron Klain, personal attorney Bob Bauer slated to play Trump in mock debates, with Biden's campaign focusing on framing Trump as a threat to democracy and abortion rights.
How is debate prep going?
Trump sources say he is getting briefed on various policy topics by several senators and is preparing to counter President Biden on inflation and immigration.
Back here, is it come at a better time for Joe Biden or for Donald Trump? Who needs it more?
I think there's no doubt Joe Biden needs this more right now. I mean, you could make a case that I was always surprised how quickly Donald Trump agreed to this, because, the candidate trailing is the one that needs it. I know there's a Fox poll out that shows him ahead, but we both know body language can tell you whether they believe polls or not. The Biden campaign wants this debate badly. They see it as a necessity. And I think they see it as a necessity because, and the summer is just lost. This is you either try to have this conversation in September when school started and suddenly the fall campaign is a sprint, or you try to be the last word before the summer fully begins. And so I get what they were looking for. And there's one other aspect. We're so fragmented as a media. Joe Biden, all the interviews he's done, he's still only penetrated about 40% of the country. This debate is at least a chance for him to talk to the other 60%, shall we say. And frankly, Trump needs the same thing.